such a time as this.
And welcome back to For Such a Time as This, the place where there is no such thing as a silent witness. This has become our flagship passage for the show. Then Pilate said to him, "So you are a king?" Jesus answered, "You say that I am a king. For this purpose I was born. For this purpose I have come into the world, to bear witness to the truth. Everyone who is of the truth listens to my voice." We as believers must always follow where truth leads us. Always. And when it comes to the presidential election, there is a story that major news outlets are shunning, censoring, ignoring. And that is the issue of Joe Biden and his relationship to his son and business dealings to foreign countries. The few times in the past that reporters from CNN and other news stations had the courage to even bring up the issue. The few times Joe Biden has denied any knowledge of his son's business dealings. Here's the first clip.
Excuse me, there is a photo of you golfing with your son Hunter and his business partner Devin Archer. Do you stand by your statement that you did not discuss any of your son's overseas business?
Yes, I stand by that statement.
He denied discussing with his son any, I know what any means, any of his son's overseas business dealings. Here he says it again, at least for a second time.
Hunter Biden. But listen to this when Joe Biden was asked by a reporter about his son Hunter Biden and his position on the board of that Ukrainian gas company. Listen to this.
Mr. Vice President, how many times have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings. Never. Never. It was an issue so much so it actually came up in the last presidential debate.
Joe, and they say you get some of it, and you do live very well. You have houses all over the place. You live very well.
All right, gentlemen, let me just ask some questions about all of this broadly. Vice President Biden, there have been questions about the work your son has done in China and for a Ukrainian energy company when you were vice president. In retrospect, was anything about those relationships inappropriate or unethical?
My son has not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about, China. I have not had, the only guy made money from China is this guy. He's the only one. Nobody else has made money from China.
President Trump, let me ask my question to you.
But could I just one thing?
Very quickly.
His son didn't have a job for a long time, was sadly no longer in the military service. I won't get into that. And he didn't have a job. As soon as he became vice president, Burisma, not the best reputation in the world. I hear they paid him $183,000 a month. Listen to this. $183,000, and they gave him a $3 million upfront payment.
All right.
And he had no energy.
I'm going to let the vice president respond to that quickly, and then I need to get to a question to you. Very
No
quickly,
basis for that. Everybody investigated that. No one said anything he did was wrong in Ukraine.
Okay, President Trump, this is for you. Since you
Why is Joe Biden denying this? Because it looks really, really bad, him running for president. If his son made money off of his name, he denied it. The news media has bagged him up, silenced any criticism, denied any truth, until one man, Bobulinski, comes along, who was not just part of the organization, he was brought in to be the head, the CEO. The CEO of the organization. And what caused him to flip was that now that these business dealings had come out, Joe Biden and the Biden family and some prominent Democrats came out and said this is all Russian disinformation, i.e., claiming that Bobulinski is a Russian asset, which ticked Bobulinski off. Bobulinski says, just apologize, I won't come forward because I know where the dead bodies are buried. I have the evidence. They did not do it, and Bobulinski went berserk on them, brought forth the evidence. Here's the first clip as Bobulinski sits down with Tucker Carlson, showing where the dead bodies are buried. Here he is.
I can't speak for him. Maybe I would love for him to go on record. As I referenced earlier, I'm only sitting here because they have not only have they not gone on record, they've denied it, and they've tarred my family name in a long history of serving this country, and have other congressmen now talking about Russian disinformation.
This whole smear on Joe Biden comes from the Kremlin.
I held a top secret clearance from the NSA and the DOE. I served this country for 4 years in one of the most elite environments in the world, Naval Nuclear Power Training Command. And to have a congressman out there speaking about Russian disinformation, or Joe Biden at a public debate referencing Russian disinformation, when he knows he sat face to face with me, that I was traveled around the world with his son and his brother, to say that and associate that with my name is absolutely disgusting to me.
And so I can see, hopefully you can see, why the man is ticked. He is doing legitimate business deals, and you can look at the interview in its entirety up on the YouTube Tucker Carlson show, the 27th of October. The 27th of October. He's upset that in order to sidestep his shady dealings, he's almost president, close to being elected president, could possibly be president, and it looks bad the way they escape it, is that they claim that this Bobulinski guy is Russian disinformation, which ticks him off. But here's what he does. I found this striking in the interview. It's pretty long. It's about 3 minutes long, but he lays out not only was Joe Biden aware of it, not only did he talk to his son, he got paid. The strong inference is that he got paid. And he makes a compelling argument.
You've seen a number of journalists, reporters covering the story, including some who should know better, declare triumphantly that no document you've released connects the former vice president to this deal. How do you react to that? What's your answer to it?
So you can imagine what I've been through over the last couple months, and knowing all this to be fact, and watching Joe Biden and his family and their lawyers trout around the world stating that there was no involvement, or even at the debate, Joe Biden referenced that you've seen my tax returns and there's no money from foreign enterprise in that. I want to simplify this for the American people as much as I can. On May 13th, that email was sent from James Gilliard to me. I didn't generate that email. James Gilliard generated that email. And in that email, James Gilliard goes through intimate detail of what each individual's requests were from a compensation perspective, and how the equity in the enterprise would be divvied up. Very important. May 13th. That email was generated by somebody else to me. In that email, there's a statement where they go through the equity. Jim Biden's referenced as 10%, doesn't say Biden, it says Jim. And then it has 10% for the big guy held by H. I 1,000% sit here and know that the big guy is referencing Joe Biden. That's crystal clear to me because I lived it. I met with the former vice president in person multiple times, and I had been meeting and talking with Hunter Biden and Jim Biden and Rob Walker and James Gilliard. Where the media has tried to hide, and I personally feel it's disgusting, is between that May 13th email and the final document that was executed called Oneida Holdings, LLC. In Oneida Holdings, LLC, the equity is broken up 20% Hunter Biden, 20% Jim Biden. Well, their LLCs that represented them.
Right.
20% James Gillier, 20% Rob Walker, and 20% me and my investment entity. What I'd ask the American people to read and look at is how from May 13th to the final Oneida document that got executed did Jim Biden go from a 10% owner to a 20% owner. That's not my question to answer. I'm sure there were discussions within the Biden family. I wasn't privy to that discussion. But this is Jim Biden, the brother of the potential future president of the United States. It's not a distant cousin. It's not an employee. It's his brother who in documents defines himself as a political advisor to his brother. And so I'll leave that to the American people to answer that. But I don't understand how the American journalist is allowing that gap to be even talked about and defined.
So
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whatever you may think of Donald J. Trump, I hope you would agree that if Donald J. Trump lied about receiving money from a foreign government, a foreign communist government, if he lied, said he didn't receive anything, but he did, even the hint of it, I hope you would not vote for said Donald J. Trump. If he lied about getting money from a foreign communist government, there's emails, there's text from a business partner linking Joe Biden, his son, and his brother. Emails and texts linking Joe Biden to a deal with the communist Chinese government. How is that not a story? And almost as equally disturbing is that CBS, NBC, and ABC will not cover this story because there's nothing to see here, right? I believe that God has been revealing the rot that has been part of American society for years. We just didn't see it. But oh, did God put one over on me, exposing the rot I could not have imagined exists within the political realm and the media realm. That the Democrats and the mainstream media would try to hide the fact that a major candidate for president of the United States of America has received money from China, lied about it, and now they're covering it up. I'm sorry, there's enough evidence, enough emails, enough texts to at least report on it. Wow. Wow. I did not realize that the rot was so rotten.
For such a time as this,